was close to 40 rooms in size. We estimate somewhere around 100 people would have been living in these walls. So this room that I'm kind of standing in, this would have been kind of a single family apartment, 3 to 4 people living in it. And you have nice big clay, mud, and stone walls. This alcove that we're standing in, and you can see kind of the tops of it, was a natural opening. The people didn't chisel this out. I mean, I'm sure if there's a loose or broken rock or something, they would yank it off and use it. But all this was built by hand. They didn't have horses or anything like that to haul up materials, so it was all by manpower. And please don't touch or lean on the walls. Oh. Yep. I have to walk around here with my hands in my pockets. And the room that I'm in would have had a room above it. So you can see this half roof, half ceiling. The big beams that go across, those are sycamore or walnut. These little ones that are going across the tops of those are a combination of saguaro ribs and ocotillo stems. And then you put a nice layer of mud and clay and rock above, so it's sturdy and strong enough for people to walk above you and also have a fire. So each one of these would have had its probably own little fireplace to keep you and your family warm. And the evidence of that is, well, kind of the blackened walls that are underneath. And up here, we do have artifacts still, like I had mentioned before. And the artifacts, when they are left in place with all the other artifacts, can tell us so much. They can tell a whole story. But if you have like a couple pieces missing, or they're moved to a different location, that can change how we view and understand the story of the people and this place. And over time, there's been a lot of looting and theft and things of that nature. So again, leave what you find, take pictures, leave it in place. So I'm going to share with you a few of the artifacts that we have up here.
What are they?
So this, and let's spread out just a little bit as folks are coming up. Any ideas what this is?
Part of a bone?
Not
Oh, an
quite.
ant.
No. It does kind of look like the nub. This is actually the top of a squash.
Oh yeah, the stem.
Yeah. So squash, very, very useful thing here in the desert. So squash top. Once it's hollowed out and it's no longer edible, you can fill it with water. You can walk around and fill up some water, which can be very handy if you're making treks in places. It's hard work to carry a big, heavy pot or a bowl. And I'll have these items left here if you want to come back on your own to take closer pictures and things like that. This one.
Corn cob.
Yeah, it's a little corn cob. And the smaller variety like this grows much better in this drier environment. So you'll still see people up on the Hopi Nation growing a similar style of corn as this today. Kind of a technique called dry farming, where you plant your stuff and you hope for the best. So smaller corn cobs. Also, you can burn these, so nice little fuel source. And then this is one of my favorites. Anyone recognize this?
Tumbleweed.
It almost looks like a tumbleweed.
Is it the fiber from the plant you showed us on the way up?
Yeah, so this is the fiber from an agave. So like the inside, that agave heart that people would be eating, this is something called a quid. This is the leftovers from, like, I like to think of a kid, like having a little chunk of sweet, tasty agave heart, basically. Chewing on it and sucking on it and getting all the sweet juices out. And then, like any middle schooler would, you stick this someplace. We find these all over the place, shoved into
Like
holes
gum?
in the wall.
Sticker like gum?
Like gum, yeah. You find it on the ground, so things don't change, right? So that sweet agave nectar in this quid.
You might get cooties from it.
You might get cooties from it. That wall was reconstructed, and now it's falling apart, and it's being stabilized to hopefully be removed eventually. Because when they were doing the restoration work, they neglected to put in the key feature that holds these multi-story structures up, the roof. So this is a picture of the underside of the roof, or one of the roofs that we still have intact here. You can see the sycamore and walnut, and you can see the small saguaro ribs and ocotillo stems. And this is most of what the roofs look like. And these walls are held up because that roof sits on top and cements it all in place, especially if it's taller. When they did the restoration work, they didn't put in like a roof, so now it's starting to fall a little bit. And we know that these people were continuing to learn because in one of the last rooms constructed, we don't have this style of a roof. We have this style. So it still has the sycamore and walnut beams going across, but instead of saguaro ribs and ocotillo stems, it's mostly made out of reeds. You'll see something similar to this over near Camp Verde, around Montezuma Castle. So this sort of style is more prevalent in that area.
It's the Upper Cliff Dwelling. Such a beautiful archaeology site. Built in the 1300s. Remarkable.